I'm not going to talk to you. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the FloTrack podcast. I am Kevin. He is Gordon. Warmer evening here in
I'm sweaty.
Eugene, Oregon, but we can't complain. Day 5 is a wrap. We saw the men's 1500 and 4-meter hurdle finals at the end of the night. We're also going to talk about the 200 prelims for men and women, which were very spicy indeed. And we'll talk about some field events and get you ready. That's right, for the men's 800 with a prediction contest that promises to be hilarious. Because listen, none of you guys are getting it right. I just know that ahead of time. None of you getting it right. Gordon, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It is hot. Last time it was this hot was I think day 1 when I made my crazy prediction. So hopefully I don't fall into that trap of making wild takes because of the heat. But I was sweating in that podcast. I'm sweating in this podcast. So Gordon plus sweat plus a microphone might be bad, but you're gonna rein me in on my takes. But yeah, overall, before we even get into, actually no, we'll talk about it at the end. Let's talk about, I think, the upset of the meet so far. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, a man who I deemed wasn't going to lose for the next 10 years, loses in a race that some would say was set up for a Jakob style win. It was honest. Jakob had great position the entire race, but Jake Whiteman just had a better day and beat him stride for stride. There is no kookiness to the way the strategies played out.
Yeah,
he just straight beat him head to head, and it was a very impressive win because no one was had Jake Whiteman as winning the gold here in Eugene. I mean, maybe outside of his own camp, but if people were going to think if a Brit was going to upset Jakob, it would have been Josh Kerr, the man we were talking about for the past 2 podcasts. So incredible performance by Whiteman. What are your thoughts on his career right now and the fact that he's able to take down Jakob in very impressive fashion?
Well, he was shocked. He was stunned. I mean, the upset is 2 parts. It's Jakob not winning, but also it's Jacob Whiteman, the guy getting the gold medal. Because if Chariot won or Kipsang won or even Kerr won, those are people who we would have said, all right, upset, but mild upset. And you saw Whiteman's face. He crossed the line. You could read his lips. Oh, my God. Like, he was in shock. He was stunned. His dad is the in-stadium announcer. So he called the race. So there was just so much emotion running through him and general just surprise. And listen, he ran a really smart race. And it was very clear what the intention was early on. Kipsang, Chariot, Ingebrigtsen all moved to the front. They're driving the train. They're clicking off these laps from 55, 56 in that range. Jakob takes the lead at about 700, holds it till 200 to go. And that's when Whiteman got an edge. And you're thinking, all right, maybe Jakob can hold tight, rally for one last push in the final 50. But Whiteman held him at bay. I mean, Whiteman made one big move and then held it to the line. I mean, it reminded me of a little bit of previous era, pre-Timothy Chariot 1,500-meter style running, where there was a little bit of tactical acumen sprinkled in there, but they did it off of a fast pace. I mean, you had 3 guys sub 3:30 in this race, and you go back and you look at his results for the year. I mean, he ran and won in Rabat in the Diamond League. Then he goes to the UK Championships. He gets the win there. But an indoor season, he had some spotty results. I ran a couple 3Ks and then DNF'd to a 1,500.
And he was 3rd at the Bislett Games in the mile.
Oslo in the mile. Yeah, so he had good races. Did that point to this guy's going to win the gold? No, I don't think it did. I mean, I guess where you would have inferred that he could get in the podium was after those, those first 2 rounds. You're just judging aesthetically. Oh, he looked easy coming across the line. But that can be fool's gold. This was a stunning result. This was a big shock. This was a big upset. I thought Ingebrigtsen would be able to handle it. I mean, he's handled those fast paces before, but it's tough to lead from the front. That's the lesson here. It is tough to do a drive from 700 meters and still hold on for the gold.
So typically when there's upsets, it's an upset in one of 2 ways. Did Jakob lose this race or did Jake win it?
I think Jake won the race. I think Jake won the race because Jakob still was going against a crazy good field and still got second.
Yeah.
Right. And you watch this back, what could he have done? Like, what's the alternate path for Ingebrigtsen? If he doesn't take over at 700, what happens? The pace probably slows, and then you introduce some other guys into this field that can kick. But I don't know what it is you do. McSwain went out hard too. He was in that group. You got a little bit out of McSwain, but there was nobody to take over that pace. So what's Jakob supposed to do in that scenario? This was his best plan. He just didn't have that little extra gear.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Do you think that Jakob underestimated Whiteman and was like, if Whiteman was if Cherry was in Whiteman's position, or if Josh Kerr was in Whiteman's position, or if Kipsang was in Whiteman's position, he would have took it more seriously and realized, okay, the effort to make this pass is going to be a little bit harder, so I need to make a move quicker or earlier. Maybe he thought like, oh, this guy, I beat him every year. I beat him every time I run, but I can get him in the final 100 meters.
Yeah, that's a lot of thinking to do with 200. It'd be one thing if Whiteman went to the front 2 laps out and then a gap formed and he didn't close it. I would be more onto your theory, but it was with 200 to go. At that point, you got to go all out. Paul brings up a good point in the chat. He said Jakob didn't look like he had that extra gear in the home straight. He was looking around from 20 meters out. He knew he was well beaten. I noticed that too. Like as soon as Whiteman kind of had enough of a gap, he like looked on both sides. All right, let me just secure silver and move on. It's just tough to go from that far out. I mean, it's tough when Chariot was doing it. It's tough when Ingebrigtsen did it. You need Faith Kipyegon makes that look easy, and even she, had a well-timed one big push to the front. Jakobs is more like, I'm just going to squeeze the life out of the entire field throughout this from 700 on in, and you have so much quality behind you. You got to be able to have your A game, and if you're a little bit off, it opens the door, and that's what happened.
Further down, Katir gets third.
Yeah.
Spain goes 2-3. 3-4. Mario Garcia Romo, NCAA, gets fourth at Worlds.
Not the NCAA champion, and then gets fourth at Worlds.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's great. You can't win NCAAs, but I can get fourth at
Worlds.
With a 3:30, huge PB. I feel like that's like the kind of the breakout. I mean, obviously, Whiteman winning is a huge breakout. Whiteman's been in this mix. He's been on the circuit, but for Mario Garcia Romo in his first postseason as a pro, goes out there and gets fourth at the Worlds. I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that I was so wrapped up watching the battle for gold and silver that I didn't even see. I didn't even notice who was coming across. Kerr, 3:30, gets fifth. Cherry, sixth. Kipsang, seventh. I mean, that's crazy how deep that race was. Abel Kipsang, who's been running really well this year, could only get seventh. Lemmy, McSwain, Rosmus, Fontes, and then Josh Thompson, the U.S. finished in 12th place. So, yeah, I think Garcia Romo was the biggest non-Whiteman surprise on the positive side of things. And I was a bit surprised that Kipsang and Cherry finished that far down, but they wanted to get the pace going, and that they all kind of served as rabbits in a way for Jake Whiteman.
Last question towards you.
Yeah.
Will we look back at this championship result as the beginning of the end, or just a one-off random blemish for Jakob Ingebrigtsen?
A one-off blemish. I mean, he's got the 5K coming later. He's obviously now motivated more than ever. But I think the expectations for Jakob aren't going to be that he's never going to lose a race. I mean, you've said that, but at the time I thought that was ridiculous. But when you say beginning and the end, are you saying he's never going to win a global gold again? I think he's going to win a global gold again. Is he going to run off a string of 4 in a row? No, I mean, it's so hard to do in that event. The greats make it look easy when they do it, but there's too much tactics involved in this race and the fields right now are just too deep to expect that every single time. So, either you got to be able to run 3:27 and just not even be affected by tactics, or you got to be able to up your game. I guess the only thing kind of missing is just like, all right, having that little, that kick, or being able to say, hey, listen, you guys want to go slow? Fine. I'm not going to, I'll go with whatever the leader's going to do, but I'm not going to touch the lead. I'm not going to do it, and be confident that he can do that. And if it slows down to 3:40 pace, then he can kick from 100 out and win. So if he could get that part of his running down, which, and easier said than done because you're going against guys just with insane top end speed, that would open up that last little avenue of, hey, okay, this guy's unbeatable. He can literally do he can win whatever way he wants, sort of in the way Sifan Hassan was for those 2 years. But that's just hard to do. I mean, run faster is going to make you, it's just like an obvious point. Like, hey, Jakob, you want to get faster? Run faster. Everybody knows that. That's just common sense.
So is this now in the power rankings of how to name a person whose name is Jake, that it's better to call them Jake than Jakob? Like, Do we see a changing of the guard of the Jakob versus Jake power rankings?
Well, and you pointed out too that Josh Kerr was in there too, and there's Josh Thompson. So 4J's.
Well, there's Josh and Joshua Thompson. So yeah. Josh beat Joshua, and Jake beat Jakob.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's little things. That's what I'm here for.
Listen, it was supposed to be Norway's night.
It was.
Is anybody from Norway in the chat? If there's someone from Norway in the chat,
pour one out. Pour one out for Norway.
Yeah.
It was pouring out. I got some water. Hold on, give me the trash can. We're gonna pour one out.
No, don't pour. You don't want water in the trash can. Just drink the water. It's really hot. Okay. Let's not do that. We thought, when you looked at the schedule initially, before Warholm was injured, you thought, hey, this could be Norway's night with the 15 and the 4-meter hurdles. Didn't happen, but Alison Dos Santos goes from bronze in Tokyo to gold here. You had a feeling this was going to happen. I had a feeling this was going to happen. But to actually do it against Warholm and Rai Benjamin.
Yeah, I mean, going into the race, there was a question mark, bigger question mark on Warholm than Benjamin. But you knew that they both were dealing with injuries. Dos Santos had been running extremely well the entire season.
Yeah.
Looked fresh, looked healthy, had a very, pep in his step coming through the mix zone after the prelims and the semifinals. And he just did what he had to do. You could argue, does the same result happen if Benjamin is 100%, if Warholm's 100%? I don't know. It's not fun to think that way because you got Dos Santos, even if Warholm was healthy, Dos Santos still ran 46 too. He ran the championship record.
Yeah.
That's no joke. I mean, obviously we're now looking towards 45 seconds as a new normal, which shouldn't be the new normal. He ran low 46s. That gets it done, 99 times out of 100. And Dos Santos,
third fastest time in history.
Third fastest time in history. He's young too. He's in 22.
He was born in 2000. So
he's 22.
Yeah.
22 years old. He was the third wheel of the the Tokyo Olympics. And now there's a party here in this 400 hurdles. That when we get a healthy Carson Warholm, Benjamin's still going to be eyeing for that first gold.
Yeah.
This 400-meter hurdle is just getting better. Now Warholm has a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. Dos Santos has the swag now.
Yeah.
Rai still has, I need just to get one. I'm really excited. But yeah, Dos Santos, he is basically capping off, I think it's a perfect season, right? He hasn't lost all year.
No, he hasn't. Yeah. He beat Rai early on in Doha, and he's just gone on from there. I was just, your eyes are on Warholm, and he looks like the old Warholm.
He looked good in the first
5 or 6 hurdles.
Yeah.
Something was off there. You don't know if it's just that something happened with a hamstring. We'll hear a mix zone interview from him at some point. Or maybe it's just lack of reps because he's been dealing with a hamstring issue. And then it all came apart from him. And then once he was out of the medals, he's probably just thinking, all right, just
conserve,
get to the finish line. Yeah. Don't do any long-term damage.
He had the lead on the back turn, I believe, because I was trying to see, it's easy, you try to see who gets over the hurdle first.
Yeah.
But Dos Santos wasn't in the lead on hurdle 6 or 7. It wasn't until 8 till he took a command and lead, and then Rai was just too far back for there to be any close finish. Dos Santos, man, he's tall, which is probably good for the 400 hurdles.
So smooth.
And
so smooth on the hurdles, yeah.
Hell of a runner. Dude, he might break 46 seconds next year. Maybe even end of this year.
If you're a fan of the event as a whole, which I think it's hard not to be at this point, you just hope for good health from Warholm and good health for Rai Benjamin, or all 3 of them for next year, and just then you're gonna have another epic
2024
because they're 2023,
2023,
but and 24 and 25. We could have 3 more years of this. Because they're all so young and they're all in their prime. But that was the first time Warholm lost since 2018. It's been a while.
Not counting the DNF.
Correct. My apologies.
Come on, man. You should do your research.
Guys, I'm sorry. Jordan has bad takes. I have bad facts.
Exactly. Ooh, that's a good line. I should make that a T-shirt.
Takes greater than facts.
Gordon has bad takes. Kevin has bad facts.
Let's talk about the 200. Trevor Bassett. Trevor Bassett comes up for bronze. What a run for him. They initially showed Hapio getting the bronze over Bassett. But Bassett gets it. So 2 more medals for the United States.
Bassett, unsponsored. Still
unsponsored.
does
D2
not have a
guy.
sponsorship. D2. Ran well, World Indoors. Now he's getting a medal. It's kind of not not rags to riches, but D2, no one really paying attention to him. His NCAA titles aren't really looked at the same way a Division One NCAA title is. He does so well at World Indoors, but you're like, it's indoors, who cares? Then he's just in the shadow of Rye, and this whole Karsten Rye Dos Santos. There's no way he's gonna break up that big three, but he does. And Trevor Bassett, he was a great interview in the stadium. Like in the stadium out there, he's like, God bless USA, and
and then everyone just loved it.
Everyone was hyping up the crowd, so it was awesome.
That's great. That's great. Also, I know this is what you're thinking. Bassett, Bowerman.
Maybe
Could we change it?
We can change it. I will have a Bowerman take at the end of 2 days from now.
All right,
because there's a chance the 3 female nominees are all going to be global medalists.
Stay tuned. That'd be pretty crazy.
Which shows that they voted the right way.
Let's go to the 200.
200. Men or women?
Well, let's just go with the women first.
Ladies first.
It was nuts. Shrika Jackson ran the second fastest time of her life. It was in a semi. I looked it up. 1/100th slower than Elaine's semi in Tokyo last year. So there is precedent for this, but that's an all-time mark there. 21:67. I saw the 6 on there. I said, can that be right? Is it actually 21:67? And lo and behold, Gordon, it was. And listen, she hasn't gotten that gold. She hasn't had that gold medal moment. I think it's going to happen, but it's going to be hard because in Heat 3, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce looks like she's just going to run almost as well as she did in the 100. And that's not something we're typically used to seeing. She's got 1 200-meter gold versus 7 100-meter golds. So it's a little bit lopsided, but she ran 21:82. So now we have pretty much a dream final here with everybody getting through who you thought would get through. I mean, if you started at the beginning of the year, you'd obviously want Thomas in there and Bowman, the medalists back. But based on who started the meet, Jackson, Fraser-Pryce, Tamara Clark, Asher Smith, Thompson Hara, Saini, Kambunji, and Abby Steiner. And 5 of those women ran under 22. Prandini ran 22:08 and didn't make it to the final. It was so fast. Good wins today, though, for wind for all the heats except Heat 3. Like Shrika Jackson had a +2 behind her.
I want to say, see, if you weren't on this podcast, I probably will go to an extreme and would really want to lean into Shrika Jackson and looking at the all-time lists of 200 meters all-time because she didn't run that 21:67 all out. She looked like she was holding a lot back. FloJo's record of 21:3 is pretty far out there. It's similar to, like a Bolt record of 9:58. But I definitely think, she is going to be in conversation, at least break Elaine Thompson-Hara's Jamaican record.
Right. And I think that's a good comp because last year, the semi for Thompson-Hara, as I mentioned, looked similar to Jackson's. But that's a long way from 21:5 to 21:3. We can see the second. This is not a take that's going to get aggregated. Usain Bolt is not going to quote tweet this. But we could
up the right way.
We could see the second fastest women's 200 in history.
See, that's no fun to say.
I know.
That's why I didn't say that.
The incentive structure's all off.
Yes.
That's the problem with media in 2022. But I believe that. Let me just say I believe that. We could, and it's not out there. I mean, she only needs to run a couple hundreds faster than she's already run. But I guess I'll say this. I expect her to run the second fastest time in history. Not she could. I'm saying I expect her to run the second fastest time.
She's going to run 21:4.
We could see a 21:4. And we've never seen a 21:4 before. We've seen 21:3. Never seen a 21:4.
Exactly. First time ever. That's history. 21:4, Shrika Jackson. I think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is going to get runner-up.
Yeah.
I think she's going to run well. And I think that third spot is going to be I don't think Elaine Thompson-Hara is going to get the third spot.
She had to get in on time.
She did not look good in
that heat was really fast, though.
Yeah, but I think that third spot is going to be between Dina Asher-Smith and Abby Steiner. Abby Steiner did not look good in her prelim, but, she got second behind. She got a big Q. Dina Asher-Smith looked good in her prelim, got a big Q. Dina Asher got fourth in the 100, so I like that.
Yeah.
I think between those two women, I think advantage Asher-Smith.
There's another woman in there, sleeper, Tamara Clark. Tamara Clark looked really good.
That's true. She won that race. She beat Asher Smith and Thompson Hara.
And ran 21:95. And she hasn't had to deal with college season. She's been under the radar.
You know,
all
we
year.
should just list all the other 6 runners and be like, they all have a shot for third.
No, I'm going to tell you the list of people who don't have no.
Okay, tell me. Who has the shot for third?
Well, I think Jackson and Fraser Price are going to go 1, 2. I think you're right. I think it's those 3.
Okay.
Like I would go Clark, Asher Smith. I don't know though. I think Steiner. That's going to be tough, man. That's going to be tough. Now her race was the race with the negative wind. You know, you compare her to a +2 wind, and can Thompson or Rock kind of just get it back on track a little bit? So another cold take. Maybe everybody can get bronze. I don't know.
See, that's why we can't have this.
We should have cut it off after the first one. We should have
everyone can get a medal, participation trophies out there.
Well, I'm already listing 6 people. So
don't be a coward. Have a take. Come on.
So who do I think could win bronze?
No. Who is going to win bronze?
Who's going to win bronze?
5, 4, 3,
Tamara Clark.
2. See, that's a great take.
But that's not what you asked me. You said who could win.
No, I'll change it to who will.
All right.
Tamara Clark, ask me.
I know what you're going to say. No, Abby Steiner. We know you're going to say that. You would have picked her in January to get bronze. Or probably gold. Now you're down to yes.
Abby Steiner.
Do you want to say it? Here, you want to give for the clip?
Morgan,
who's going to win the bronze in 200?
Dean Asher Smith. Abby's going to get second. Shelly Ann off the podium.
Wait.
No, I don't believe that. It'll be Shelly Ann and then Abby Steiner. That's what I think. I can't hop off the Steiner train now.
It's going to be awesome because
48 hours away.
It's going to be awesome because Shelly Ann is bringing it.
Yes. I did not expect that.
That's what really pushes this race over the top is that Shelly Ann is taking all that 100-meter success and put it into the 200.
I thought she was going to scratch.
Yeah, that was a really dumb. No, I don't have to. I put that in the take trash can.
That's not a dumb take. She scratched his 200s before.
Yeah, so does everybody.
Shawnee Miller-Weibo scratched a 200.
Yeah.
You don't need.
All right.
It's not
men's 200. Go ahead.
You can men's 200.
Yeah.
I guess we got to start with the big news coming out of it. Fred Curley. Well, not only does he not make it, but he may be hurt. He had to go to the medical tent instead of going through the mix zone. He looked not good on that final 50 meters. You saw a grimace in his face, kind of pulled up a bit.
Yeah.
Outside of thinking, okay, whatever, Fred's not, going to pull off the double. He's not going to get a medal in the 200. The 200 is so deep, we're not going to miss it, right? We're still going to see an amazing 200 final. But Fred Curley's important to the U.S.'s chances in the 4x1.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen here? Do you think Fred Curley's going to run the 4x1? Based off what you saw and based on the fact that he had to go into the medical tent?
I think they'll be able to get it going. He was still able to run all the way through. And we have a couple days now for the 4x1. It never looked really comfortable on the curve and then coming off the curve. Normally we had a little bit of pop. It just, he kind of took an awkward step, it looked like. And then that's when you saw the grimace on his face. But I think he'll be back for the 4x1.
Yeah?
Get it right. Yeah. Won't be running a bend, though.
But, do you think there's a risk there that what if all of a sudden,
it's risky. It
Bolt ran and pulled up, right, in a 4x1?
It would not be a U.S. men's 4x1 if there wasn't risk.
That would be crazy if that's what the failure is for this round of U.S. 4x1 men, is that there's an injury. That'll just be awful.
Yeah.
They get all 3 exchanges perfect, but then there's a pull up with 20 meters to go.
Yeah, I think he's obviously going to test it, and I think we'll know ahead of time. I mean, this is why you run him in the prelim, too.
I know we probably shouldn't talk about this on the podcast. You know what you told me last night or 2 nights ago? About, your third prediction?
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about that in the pod. I don't want to jinx it. My predictions keep coming true. My bad predictions keep coming true, so we're not going to...
He's 2 for 2 on bad predictions.
We're not going to go into that.
The third one, we can't... We'll tell you at the end of the pod.
If it happens... No, we're going to say it if it happens, and then I will take responsibility. No, we won't.
No, you're going to take responsibility?
No, we're just not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. All right.
People in the chat are going to know. We're not going to tell you.
Keep going. Just keep going.
Okay, we're not going to tell you. Anyway, all right, Fred Curley. My big concern there is the question marks around the 4x1. But let's go back to, the stars. Arian Knighton, Noah Lyles, both look great going through. We got a clip of Noah Lyles watching Arian Knighton run his semifinal. Lyles went before him, then Knighton was the third heat. Let's play that clip of Noah Lyles watching Knighton.
This ain't no baby stuff right here.
So this is going to be a real final. This ain't no baby stuff. right here.
Confirming what I thought. You always said, hey, there might be baby stuff in the final. I said, no, not in the World Championships.
It's just adults only.
Zero baby stuff.
Zero baby stuff.
Lyles, first of all, is hyped. He ran
He is so hyped.
1962. And they have to wait a day for the final. The final is not tomorrow. He is going to be bouncing off the walls to get this 200 underway. Knighton ran 1977. I don't know what you read into it. I think it's between those two guys. Bednarik looked good today. This is the best he's looked all season.
Yes.
Ran a season's best. Keep an eye on, I think, him and Fonbele are we going to be going for that bronze medal. And then Alexander Ogando, Dominican Republic, goes back-to-back national records. This is his first time under 20. First round national record, second round national record, 1991. He actually beat Fonbele in this race. So he could get in there for, I guess I'll say a 3-person race for bronze, and then, as we expected, Knighton and Lyles for gold and silver in some order.
Yeah, I think we can get a USA sweep. I think Kenny B has shown enough of his progression from kind of not running well back in May and
Toe
June,
injury, he said, yeah,
due to injury. Runs a good USA 100, makes the team in the 200. Now he's starting to come together. We got to forget, Kenny B, according to the World Athletics, is
number one ranked.
the number one ranked 200-meter runner in the world. Mainly because he was running 19 seconds like 20 times in a row at the Diamond League level. That consistency, that experience, he's going to be ready to go. And I think there's going to be a high probability that USA is going to sweep the 100 and the 200.
Yeah, the only guys who can get in their way, Fonbele and Ogando.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ogando, I mean, he's too
I
new.
guess Richards. Dream Richards.
Dream Richards, yeah. The USA sweeping? USA sweeping the 1 and the 2. When's the last time that's happened?
Good question. Don't have the stats in front of me.
Yeah,
All right. Anything else in the 2?
I'm excited. I lost money on Curly, so now I need to figure out where to put my new money on.
Yeah.
I'm big on doubling down on my losses. I did that with Josh Kerr, which means I lost more. But it's okay. I'm still up $300 halfway through the meet. So that's good.
Yeah.
Still up $300 halfway through the meet. Other half to go for those who care about my financial well-being. I am planning, though, transition. I'm planning to give some of this money that I have, a percentage of my winnings, to the winner of the first ever and only ever,
this is it.
first and last ever, FloTrack 800-meter Madness Challenge.
Men's 800.
Men's 800-meter Madness Challenge. Go to our YouTube channel or go to our Twitter feed or just go to the bottom of the video. We'll put the link everywhere. Let's show what we do. We got this form here. Put your name, email so we can contact you if you win. Colt's going to enter this contest for us. We can see who Colt's going to pick because we believe not a single person will be able to correctly predict the order of the men's 800. And you got to do it before the final.
No. Before the first round.
Before the first round. That's what I meant. You're not getting only 8 names to choose from.
No, you got the whole list.
You got the whole list of 45 names to choose from.
Yeah.
You got to tell us who you think is going to win in first, second, third. If you get it right, you will be.
We don't have a prize yet.
The prize is going to be 10% of my gambling winnings.
You're just going to Venmo them cash?
Yeah.
Or what? What if you lose money?
Then
a bill?
Venmo request,
no,
baby. No. Venmo request.
No. If I lose money, then I'll come up with a different prize.
We needed a better prize because
that's a great prize. If I win $1,000, it's $100.
I want a lot of people to enter this just because it's going to be so fun to see if we can actually get a winner and how many people's brackets get eliminated. No, how many get eliminated after the first round and after the semis, just like they do with March Madness. So please join it. Cole, who did you go with?
Yeah, who'd you go with?
And why? All of your knowledge of track comes from listening to this podcast an hour a day. So, that's something.
So
Cole,
very limited in my knowledge here. I did go with Marco Arop as my my gold medal finalist. Took Max Bergen,
Canadian,
as my
young
kid. Silver, and then I went way down on the list. Career.
Oh, career. Oh, the champ. I like that.
All right, so that's how you do it. Just hit the submit there, and then you're good to go, right? Just a Google form. People can figure it out. Yeah. So do it. We'll put a link in there
in the description, or just go to our Twitter feed. We'll find ways to get you it. But yeah, Prize is going to be cash money.
Well, someone says you need to establish a prize at the beginning. You can't change
The
it.
prize is 10% of my gambling winnings. That's a great prize.
What's the most you can win though?
There could be a point where I could be up like $5,000. I still have a lot of open bets.
What is there actually going to be?
I'm currently up $300.
You know how sad it's going to be?
I'm currently up $300.
You Venmo somebody $5. So right now the prize would be $30.
Yeah, but that's right now.
Do we have T-shirts?
Can I say a 25% of my winnings?
Oh, a T-shirt? We don't have a T-shirt. What do we need? Then come on the pod.
Come on the pod. Just enter. There's going to be a great prize. I think cash is a great prize. I don't know why you're against this idea. I think people
you're going to lose. That's why.
I'm not going to lose. I'm winning right now. I just won I picked Dos Santos Gold. I won $150 there. I picked, I don't even know his name, to get a medal in the discus throw. That happened. I won $150 there. So,
Let's touch on the discus real quick. And what else do we have? We had the women's high jump. So discus throw, Christian Shea, Alekna. That's who you picked? Or did you pick Gudzius?
Gudzius.
That's crazy. Danny Stahl didn't medal.
I know.
That is nuts. Nervous. So Shea, 71.13 goes over 70 meters. That's a big mark for him. And then women's high jump. Great competition there. Eleanor Patterson of Australia gets the win, goes 2:02. Wins on countback over Mahuchik. And then Valor Tiagara of Italy, third.
I lost money on this one because I had Gershenko getting a medal. And it didn't happen. Right. I went 2-2 today. That's not bad. 2-2.
All right. What's the anything else you want to touch on before we go?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is day number 6. We have women's 5,000 heats, men's 800 heats. So you have to enter before, which is excuse me. We have to enter before 5:20 Pacific time on that. You're closing it. You need to make sure you close it at that point.
Yeah, well, there's a timestamp, so I know if you entered after.
Google thought of everything, guys.
Yeah. So I know if you're breaking the rules.
Women's 400-meter hurdle semis, then women's 400-meter semis, men's 400-meter semis. There's only one running in it final, women's steeple. Guys, it's Nora Geruto time, all right? We're going to be talking Nora Geruto
for like 40 minutes.
I guarantee it, starting at 8:30 Pacific time tomorrow. Enter the men's 800 Madness prediction contest. It's the perfect end, or even though the 800 is not over this year, but it's like that's the perfect cherry on top of the men's 800 this year, which has been a work of art.
Let's do one bet between me and you. If I correctly predict the men's 800, gold, silver, bronze, will you give me $100?
Yeah.
You will?
You'll give me $100?
Yeah, if you get it right.
Yeah. $100 bet.
$100 bet.
There's no way I'm getting it right. Your picks were the same as mine though, or almost the same.
No, I have.
You're gonna change them again.
I'm gonna fresh up my picks.
Okay. I'm really not confident, but I'm also not confident in your pick either. So I just want to see how many people can get all 3 people to the final. That's gonna be hard. And
again, it's not about getting the 3 right. They have to be the correct order as well.
Yeah.
Gotta be correct order.
All right. FloTrackPodcast@gmail.com is the email address. Remember, we do a immediate live reaction on the FloTrack Instagram page, usually starting around 8:10 Pacific time as we walk over to set up for the pod. And then, of course, we're going to be doing reaction pods for the remaining 5 days. There's a bunch of interviews on the site that you can check out. So we got a Sharika Jackson interview that's up there. They're going to go up there in a second. Ari Knighton, the 1,500 400-meter hurdle. Big names from tonight are going to go up there. Jake Whiteman at some point, although he's probably still running victory laps.
I said deja vu.
What?
I don't know. I had deja vu.
Well, we've literally done this. This is the 5th night in a row.
No, it's like deja vu from like 4 years ago.
I don't think you were here 4 years ago.
I know. That's why it's weird. I had deja vu.
Well, how'd you know it was 4 years ago, deja vu?
That's an estimate. I had deja vu from like, I feel like I'd done this like a long time ago.
Was I there?
I don't know. I can't explain the deja vu. It's gone now. But it was a really weird moment.
Was I there?
We got to go. People are... Sorry, go ahead, Colt.
I just wanted to know if I was there in the deja vu.
No, you weren't there. It was more just me being here. And I don't know. It's weird.
It's really hot in this room.
Maybe
could
that's
be
what
getting to you.
It could be the heat.
Someone came up to us when we were leaving, a listener who said, Gordon, you have bad takes. So it was awesome.
Yes.
We're getting more and more of that. So remember, if you see this man in Eugene or wherever in his life, even if he doesn't even have this job anymore in 10 years, and you happen to run into an airport somewhere, say.
There's another lady who told me, she probably does, she said, don't make another prediction.
Yeah.
She's like, stay away from predicting. And then I told her there's going to be a world record in the 4x1. And she said, stop.
Is this the most attention you've ever gotten in your 10 years of the show?
I don't know.
In your decade of watching track? This is it, right?
I've been watching track for more than a decade, bro.
So you're like the thing that you're most known for is saying that Curly was going to break Bolt's world record and then Bolt dunked on you. That's probably it, right? I mean, you got aggregated. Have you been aggregated for anything else?
No. I mean, I tweet
cool.
about Sixers stuff and try to get retweeted that way, but that's not as interesting.
Yeah. So this is it. That's cool. I'm glad I'm here.
Are you just telling me I peaked? Is that what you're just telling me? Right
well, you got the highest so far. You can keep going up.
Okay.
Right. In 10 years, we'll decide if that was actually your peak.
Okay.
But it's cool to be here because I was like, oh, maybe 2015 Gordon had something that he did that people were like, wow.
This is my first global championship.
That's true, and you're bringing it. It's kind of appropriate that in your first global championship, the thing you become known for is just a horrible take.
Just being wrong.
Yeah, that kind of fits, right?
Hey,
because you have so much practice with terrible takes, and then you came to the global championships and you brought your best worst take.
I want to find a way to get in touch with Fred and ask him if he's like upset or like happy that I thought he was going to break the world record.
Okay. Because I hope that you get to have that
conversation.
Because
I didn't get to talk to him in the mix zone because we were here doing the podcast when he won the 100.
Yeah.
He went through the medical tent here. So I got to find out if he probably
doesn't know about it.
No, he knows about it. He'll probably like dunk on me. He's like, yeah. But it'd be weird to dunk on me because you don't want to dunk on someone who said that you're great.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So he's like the one guy who's probably like okay with it.
He liked the tweet.
Yeah, he's like the one guy who's like, good job, Gordon. So I got one fan out there.
It was just cool that nobody thought it was a good take. Like there hasn't been a single
Fred thought it was a great take.
Well, no, he never said that.
They thought it. They didn't say it.
Two things people agree on leaving out of day 5. False start rule needs to be changed.
Yes.
And Gordon's take was bad. Everything else people disagree with.
I'm going to redeem myself eventually. I got 5 days to redeem myself.
All right.
We're good.
We'll leave it there. Thanks, Colt, for staying up. Colton says that that Gordon peaked, at least. So someone thinks he did peak. But no, some people have never been aggregated by a Jamaican publication. So enjoy your peak. We'll be back day 6 tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for listening and downloading. Really do appreciate it. Again, subscribe to FloTrack Podcast YouTube page. Tell your friends. Tell your family. We're doing this every night of the championships. We'll talk to you tomorrow.